All right. Thank you for joining, everybody. Today's sponsor is no one because I don't have anything. Last time I took a little bit too much whiskey. My guest today is Paul Santos. This is my uncle, and I love him. I'm glad to see you, man. How you doing?
Doing good.
Doing good. How's everything been going?
Oh, this COVID shit, it's not cool.
How's that affecting your work? Are you unemployed right now, or are you
No, I'm still balling.
still balling?
Yeah.
They got you busy up there?
They got me working hard, man.
I
Got
bet.
me working, doing some landscaping, some other shit around the hotel, just trying to make it look pretty.
Are you guys doing any like meals for the medical workers or anything like that?
No, we don't. We do a lot of other stuff for the community, but yeah, we're still open for business. Doing curbside, takeout, stuff like that. We got room service. We still got guests in the hotel.
What's your favorite dish that you make?
I like food, so that's a hard question. But I'd probably have to say seafood. Crab and steak or lobster and steak. That'd probably be my favorite. If I was going to die and that'd be my last meal, that'd probably be it.
What's your favorite one to make, though, for, like, people? Same thing?
Ooh, that's a hard one, too. I like shit that just pow when you look at it. It's just like, wow, that kind of shit. So fettuccinis are good because they got a lot of color in them. I like doing trays of food because I can add my artistic talent to it and pimp that shit out so it looks tight. Sorry, this is going to be the baller edition just so everyone
You're
knows.
fine, man. You're fine. We're just asking. So for people that don't know, explain what your position is, I guess. What you do.
I be pimping hoes. I'm teasing.
Pimping them hard.
I'm teasing. I'm a hotel manager. So basically my job is to support all my managers and with the tools and the support to take care of our guests.
So you've even moved up since last time I knew what you did, because I knew you were like one of the top people, the chefs for the restaurants. You moved up since then.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what you did.
Well, I still work in the kitchen, so that's a tough one because I'm always going to be a chef. So they utilize me for my skill set and stuff. But I'm second in charge of the hotel. So I got a lot of managers that work under me, and basically my job is to support them, make sure that we're successful. If we lose a manager, I get stuck in that position, so I got to know everyone's job. I don't have to be the best at it, but I got to be able to manage them, know what they're supposed to do. I got to be able to step in if we lose somebody or somebody gets promoted. We do a lot of promoting. We do a lot of moving people around. So
You got to step in where it's needed. You got to be a jack of all trades, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Must keep you really busy.
It does.
Your work week pretty long, like 50 to 60 hours? You did not turn your ringer off, did you?
Damn,
You better turn that ringer off.
I think that's one of my hoes. No, I'm teasing. That's my doctor, but that motherfucker's supposed to call me a few days ago so he can bam.
Yeah,
It's
tell
5
that
o'clock.
doctor. Tell that doctor, turn your ringer off while you got it out.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, you keep me in line, Mikey, because... All right.
Yeah, you want to interrupt you got the audience. They're like, what is going on in there?
Yeah.
So since this is the baller edition, let's talk about some childhood things.
All down.
I remember
Yeah.
growing up watching Unc, being the Bruce Lee, the Bruce Lee of the family, learning the nunchucks and the, making, just putting people in their place, the kids around the neighborhood and
I
shit
still
like
do
that.
that.
You're always going to do that. You're always going to be, the uncle that I look up to that protected me. So there was a time, and I've told this story many times to many people, and Felicia remembers this, the time at Halloween when that motherfucker poured that beer into my candy.
I almost kicked him in his head and I missed, and then somebody started chasing me with a bat. I remember that.
Well, there was 5 of them. So
Yeah.
so my perspective, I know my perspective of this story. I want you to, if you can remember it, because it was a long time ago. It was you and Rich, me and Flea. Start by, what did you see? I went up to the door. We knocked. Said trick or treat. Guy comes.
I saw some Asian dude that I ended up working with later on down the line at the hotel. But I saw him up at the door, and it must have been his house, and he was having a party with a bunch of other kids and shit. They were all pretty young. They're about my age at the time because I was pretty young too.
Yeah.
I remember I was trying to protect you guys because you're all younger than me, and I said, you guys take off running. And once you guys took off running, I tried to fuck that dude up for pouring beer in your shit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I looked, and some dude was chasing me with a bat, and 3 other guys were coming, and I was like, fuck. So we just bounced.
Just bounced. Man,
Yeah.
that was like to me, one of the worst moments because it was like I was just shocked. This fool.
Yeah, I was pissed.
Yeah, because I think I was
You were
before
young.
Joy was born, so I had to be in like 10ish, maybe 9. Just to have somebody do that, I was like, what? And then I remember you just saying, "Run home." So
I did try to get that
took
dude.
off.
I don't know if you saw that, but I was gonna
No.
kick his ass.
Once I heard you say that, man, I was gone. I was like, all right, Unc's got this. I'm taking off. But
And I'm pretty fast too, so I started running after. Like I said, there's a few of them folks.
well, yeah, well, you and Rich, were fastest motherfuckers on earth.
Richard took off before me though. He was gone. That guy didn't like conflict at all.
You looked at him and said, "Rich, run home too."
I did. You know,
Oh man, I miss Richard.
me too.
I know. We lost him.
Been about 2 years.
Yeah, it's been about 2 years. Still think about him every day.
Mm-hmm.
I still get weird signs from. Did I tell you what happened the day of his funeral?
Yeah, some tree shit
Yeah.
fell almost.
So it was like a week before he passed away. He came over and we were talking about the tree, and then talking about how I need to trim it. And he was talking about how he could jump up there and cut it down for me. I'm like, Rich, you don't need to be jumping up there. It's like 30 feet. in the
That
air.
was rich too.
Yeah.
Huh?
Just always
to do
thinking he
that.
could. And he almost tried that day, and I was like, no, man, I'll take care of it. I'll find somebody. And the day of his funeral, that fucking limb falls in my yard. Just perfect cut.
Took care of that shit.
Yeah, I
for
was
you.
like, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Hey, Malia, do I look like a bitch sitting here? Because I feel like I'm.
No, you ain't.
All right.
I think
is
we
the
got.
politician.
I think we got. You feel comfortable, man. Just
All right.
get relaxed.
I just can't see myself, so
you want
I
some-
don't
you
want somebody
want-
thinking I'm a pussy or something.
You ain't a pussy, man. I don't think anybody will ever think that of you. So I'll talk about some more memories of you, and you could just maybe clarify some things, and if you even remember. There was this time, I don't even remember what street that was. So Grandma lived in this big house, 2-story house, kind of by Hi-Ho.
It was on Swan Street, I think.
Was it Swan?
Yeah, big ass
By
house.
Washington.
Oh, was it by Washington?
Yeah.
No,
Remember
that
house?
was Elm Street.
Yeah. So you guys were in the house arguing. I'm outside playing with Bird.
Who was arguing?
You and Grandma. Like
yeah,
you used
I
to.
get Grandma a hard time.
Yeah, you guys used to.
I feel bad for that.
Well, shit happened.
Yeah.
You know. I'm sure things that you made up, but at that time you guys were arguing, and all I remember, me and Bird playing, and then I hear this, and I see this fist through the door, through the front door. I'm like, that's a thick door. How is that?
I had a pretty bad temper when I was young, so yeah. I regret a lot of things I did when I was younger, especially if it hurt my mother. You know, Mom had a hard time taking care of 7 kids, and you know, I have a lot of respect for her. And when I was younger, I used to be upset with her, and when I got older, I realized that she did the best she could, and you know, I loved her for that. So
she was, Grandma was very stern.
oh hell yeah, she was stubborn.
Yeah, she was stubborn. I think we all get that from her.
But she was a sweet person. She'd always help anybody.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know.
And she made the best cinnamon toast crunch or cinnamon toast. I remember going there and eating that when she.
Dude, she used to cook donuts fresh for us. She made some crazy shit. I was like, damn, you made donuts? Hell yeah.
Do that, Grandma.
Tortillas. I remember that shit. Miss that.
I guess she experimented with Daddy Robert with when what was it, Hamburger Helper first came out back in the 70s or whatever. She was experimenting with it and made him try it, and he fell in love with that cooking. This is the story Mom was telling me about it, and I was like, that's crazy. All right, so we're back. We had a little slight interruption. Had to cut. Starting over here. So we'll just talk about something else. So, growing up, did you work out a lot? I know.
Oh, hell yeah. I used to work out a lot, man.
I remember-
Worked, lifted weights.
Yeah, I remember you lifting weights. I remember you always practicing with the nunchucks. Did you ever have any formal martial arts training? Did you ever?
I had some ghetto martial arts training in the hood.
Just
It
street
wasn't-
fighting?
Yeah, I wasn't. Well, I used to fight a lot too, but I had friends that were in martial arts, and we'd go practice at their house. They had their own dojos and shit. Their parents like slung drugs, so they had lots of money, so they'd have like all these cool dummies and shit and shit to work out with. And they were into martial arts. I couldn't afford it, so I had to learn it the hard way, I guess.
Yeah, you were there.
The cheap way.
You were their sparring partner, basically.
I was, and I just absorb shit that, I always try to learn stuff wherever, whatever, whenever, wherever. And that's what I would do with them. I'd take advantage of that and hang out. We'd unfortunately smoke weed and get high and chill and practice, on each other.
Yeah. Now, what was your? I know I'm talking about fighting a lot. I'm just interested in this because I just remember you being the guy.
I was the fighter out of the family.
Yeah, the guy I looked up to be the guy that made me like martial arts and when UFC came out, it was like all that stuff reminded me of growing up with you, and so that tends to where my questions lead towards. So, what was your do you remember your first fight, your first actual fight?
I used to get my ass beat all the time. That's how I got into fighting, because I would hang out with older kids, and they would take advantage of me and beat me up. So after that, I had to take care of my own shit.
Was this in Tacoma?
Yeah, pretty much.
Good old Tacoma. How long did you guys live there?
From 3rd grade to 8th grade, so 5 years.
Damn. In the fucking ghetto too.
It was cool. It was. I have some good memories of that motherfucker.
Was that? Did you guys live? I don't know why this is coming to my mind. The Hilltop?
No, not in Tacoma. That was where all the black people lived and shit back in the day. I don't know what it's like now, but Cambodians came in and everything's kind of changed. We lived in the low income, called it Shalishan. The name of it was Shalishan, but we called it Shacktown. It was right off Portland Avenue, so anybody from Tacoma knows
they
they know that shit.
Why does that place stink?
Call it Tacoma aroma.
Yeah.
And the reason why it stunk is because of the bay there. All the shit would come up off there and it just stunk really bad. I don't remember what it was, but something from the water would just stink up that place.
I haven't been there
Puget
for a while.
Sound, yeah.
Does it still smell like that?
It does. It's like when you go through Moses Lake, it stinks that way.
Does it?
Yeah.
I hardly ever go through there.
Well, you don't come see me enough, man.
I'm sorry, man.
It's all good.
Yeah, I don't like to travel. I don't like driving.
Me either.
I get when I drive, I get tired like really quick, and so if it's long, like to Spokane, man, I got to pull over like at least 3 or 4 times.
I'll take 3 or 4 stops and it breaks it up, and then it doesn't seem as long.
Drive, and
I
really don't like being in the car that long.
Nope, I understand.
Yeah.
But
same thing with Dad. I don't go visit him in Bellingham just because that's part of the reason. He likes to drive. He likes to come down here as much as he can, and I know you're the same way. You get here in like 90 minutes,
I don't like
right?
to drive, man. I don't like to drive, but I come down. I don't come down as much anymore because Mom's not alive. But I know this is my first time down since Mom passed.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
So I wanted to come down for Mother's Day and put some flowers on her grave and all that, and pay my respects. Fortunately, we went out there today and they had the sprinklers on, so we got to go back tomorrow. But I went over there, circled around the sprinkler a couple times, and then we bounced because they said they just set the sprinklers. It was going to be about an hour. So
was there a lot of people out there?
There was. They were doing a burial plot for somebody. I saw the tractor over there digging, and I saw a bunch of cars like they just buried somebody. And I saw some lady sitting out there in a lawn chair chilling at a gravesite. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a place that people are going to because of the quarantine. It's a place that they can at least visit.
I like the cemeteries, not because I'm a freak and dead people. I just love how beautiful it is.
They
it's
keep
pretty.
it so pretty out there. And then when people put fresh flowers, it's just a land of like beautiful grass and flowers with plots, unfortunately.
Well, I take the kids to one by our house, and that's where I want to be buried because it's so pretty and it's over the river and stuff. But we just ride our bikes through there and we look at all these old tombstones, and there's some badass ones from like 1910, 1912, and they're fucking got like these pillars and big old buildings, and their shit's inside of that.
Oh wow!
But there's some cool ones there. It's just crazy, but it's really pretty. A lot of people that I take there, they're like, "What the fuck," But like I said, I really like it. I don't know.
So that brings me to a question I wanted to ask you, and this is one I've been thinking about. So kind of goes to another interest of mine, which is paranormal. Have you ever seen like a UFO or a ghost or anything like that?
Nah, but I'm not saying I don't believe in that shit, but I've never had to experience any of it, and I always think that there is a reason for shit. Something happens for a reason. There's an explanation. Sometimes we don't know what it is, so our minds say, "Oh, it's this or that," kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question for you, man.
Go for it.
Do you have any dirt in your fingernails?
Do I have any dirt in my fingernails? Hopefully not.
My man.
No, I try to keep them clean. They do get long, and Joanne hates that. But my nails grow like super fast, and then she like takes off with the fingernail clippers, so I can never find them, and so I forget after a couple days, and then after like a week, I got claws.
I got some in mine, but they're I'm doing that so you can see it.
I'm not gonna say I don't ever have dirt in them, but I do wash my hands constantly, especially lately.
But I've been doing some landscaping. But no, the reason why I asked is because there's this thing, and they said that to see if someone's feminine, that if you ask them if they have dirt in their fingernails, and if they go like that, then they're manly. If they go like that, then they're little.
How did I do it? I don't even know I did.
You did like that. So
I'm like, hey, what?
Hey,
girl, I ain't got nothing in there. No.
But anyways, I was like, I was gonna pull that one up, and I was like, hopefully I don't embarrass his ass. But does he wear panties at night?
No. Free ball that shit. I get too hot. I'm too fat. To wear clothes and.
So yeah, that was we just did that with Joey too. He did the same thing because Ruby said, "Go down and ask him. I'm curious." I was like, it's just a thing, It doesn't mean that somebody's really gay or not. But
no, I got you.
It's just funny. I like to call people out like that.
There's one that I was listening to this motivational book, audio book, and one of the things that this guy had mentioned was this one time he was doing an interview during a lunch or a dinner, and at the interview, they ordered steaks, and the guy, I can't remember how it goes, something like the guy tasted the steak before he put anything on it, and the boss says, "I respect you. Now I'm willing to listen to you." And I was like, "Why? What happened here?" He's like, "The last interview I had, we sat down, ordered steaks. The guy took his steak, automatically put ketchup on it, started eating it. That tells me he's not willing to try what he has before he adds something to it. You work with what you got first, and then you start adding to it.
You start modifying it.
Yeah. And so kind of, I don't know why that reminded me of that, but I thought that was a good way to look at people. It's like,
have you ever seen that movie, A Bronx Tale? It's an old gangster movie. Anyways, dude, he's a gangster. His boss, actually his dad Robert De Niro doesn't want him to hang out with these gangs, and he ends up hanging out with the gangs, and his dad, Robert De Niro, was a bus driver, and he's like straight-laced, hey, stay away from that shit. He ends up hanging out with this gang, and the head gangbanger dude really likes him, so he lets him take his Cadillac and take this girl out, and he goes, "If you like this girl, da-da-da, whatever." He goes, "Here's the test. You do the test on her." And he goes, "This is what you do. You open the door for her, let her in, and you pull around, you go around. If she doesn't unlock the door for you, you get rid of that bitch." He goes, "If she unlocks the door for you, you keep her. She's a keeper."
Oh.
So dude did the test. I mean, there's just little things like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything, but it could. I mean, it means that she was selfish, I guess, and you don't want a chick like that. He was trying to say.
Well, I think little things like that's a good way to judge people's character.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we naturally do that with people in our everyday life. We may not have something just planned out, but like, I know there's little things that bug me, and if I see somebody doing that, it's like, okay, that's not somebody I want to be around all the time.
It's gonna bother you.
I got pet peeves like everybody else, and if I see somebody doing those pet peeves, it's either I'm going to mention it to that person, especially if I have to work with them all the time or do something with them all the time, or I'm just not going to be around that person. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know if you feel that same way. That's just like.
Yeah, I'm pretty picky too. So I mean, it's easier on you if you can find somebody that's compatible or that's not going to bother you or whatever. It might even just be a relationship. It could be something else. It could be work related. It could be something that from a pair up with somebody.
Are you? It's going to lead me to something else. Are you still pretty meticulous with ironing your pants and your shirts?
Yeah.
Do you think that'll ever fade because of the?
Nah, it's built in me. I think I was telling someone a story about that this morning actually, and you know what happened? You know why I was that way is because I never used to iron my shit when I went to school when I was in junior high school, and you know how it is in Yakima. There's a bunch of cholos and shit. I grew up with a bunch of cholos and gangbangers, right?
Yeah.
And they'd all have these little khakis with the creases and the flannels and all that shit, and they'd make fun of me because I didn't iron my shit. So I'd go home and tell grandma, my mom, I'd say, "Hey, Mom, I don't know how to iron. So Mom would iron my shit for me for school. So like I said, Mom did a lot of shit. She loved us, even though it was hard, and we thought that we had the worst life. We really didn't.
Yeah.
But at some point, I felt bad, so I ended up learning how to iron. And now I just iron all my shit except for my underwear and socks. But
I remember you doing it when you lived with Mom and me, and I think I asked you at one point, and I think your response was like, "Man, you just gotta look good. You gotta look good. You gotta present yourself well."
You do. I mean, at work, I have to iron my shit. I can't go in because I gotta lead by example. I expect my staff to look good. I expect them to iron their shit. They can't. It doesn't have to be the best iron, but they can't come with wrinkles and shit like that in a uniform. And it actually says that in the handbook. They got to make sure they launder their shit, they iron their shit. Some people will throw it in the dryer, and I guess if you can't tell, but if I can tell, I'm gonna call you out on it and say, hey, you got to fix that. It's
Yeah.
part of my position.
I wish I was more like that. I mean, the military kind of made you do that, but man, since I left the military, it's like I've maybe ironed 10 shirts.
Yeah, military's fucking crazy. Yeah. I had to do that in boot camp.
Do you want to talk about that? Is this something?
I'm cool, man. This is baller edition.
That was one of the questions I want to ask you was because I think Malia had asked me before if you had went to prison, and I was like, yeah, you went to. Well, you were in for 2 years, right?
27 months, but I didn't spend it all in prison, no.
But some of it was in that like boot camp /
Yeah, I was about 11 months there.
And how was life in there for you?
It was fucking crazy. Probably wouldn't choose that again. I would do the 27 months, honestly.
Were they on your ass like day and night?
They were, but if you're low profile, they wouldn't fuck with you as much. If you were high profile, they would just fuck with you. So you got to take in consideration there's probably like 200 dudes in there. What happens is when you get in trouble, I was a first-time federal offender. So I got arrested for a firearm and had some weed on me, shit like that. Anyways, they said, hey, you've been working. You're not, even though my friends are gangbangers, they didn't put me that way. That was a gangbanger. So they said, you can go to this work release thing or this federal boot camp, be out in like 12, 13 months in work release. So I said, all right, sign me up for it. They sent my ass to Oklahoma where they kind of transfer prisoners. First, I was in jail for about a month and a half waiting to be transferred. Then I went to Oklahoma. I was there for about a month and a half, which is you're in population with prisoners. And then they sent me to the boot camp, which was in Pennsylvania, Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. And Lewisburg, Pennsylvania prison is right here. And then they have this boot camp. Then they have another camp, which is like a work release program type camp. But I guess that penitentiary there, they had Al Capone in that one. So, wow. Yeah. But we were like in the military, like boot camp shit, but you're a prisoner. So you had all these guards that were ex-military officers and stuff. So you had the Army, the Navy, and they'd all come and do all this PT shit on you. And it was crazy, man. We did a lot of running. I was in the best shape of my life.
I bet.
It was hard, but it wasn't hard as it could have been because there was other people that come in there and they just looked funny or they just were slow and they'd always get in trouble. But I got in trouble for stupid shit, like my shirt was untucked, so dude said, hey, drop. He goes, you know what? I was like, yes, sir. So I had to drop down and give him push-ups. He goes, how many push-ups can you do? I said, I can do about 150. And I could. Before I went in there, I was doing push-ups like crazy, right? And I did about 50. He goes, how many do you think you can do? I said, 60, because I knew he was going to make me do them, right? So he's like, all right, get up, get out of here. But, shit like that, it was crazy. I got in trouble for, you had to march. So when you go eat lunch, you had to march. So you were learning shit like you were in the military.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
But when you march, if you didn't march right, you had to go back to the end of the line. If you talked in line, you got in trouble.
Yeah.
And the guards would get behind you and fuck with you, so you'd think it was another inmate, and you'd say something, turn around, and it was a guard. He's like, get back to the line. We would take people's arms because you had to be at attention when you're in line, and then you walk, you stand there at attention, and then we'd take this guy's hand and tap it and hit the other guy in the ass, and then the dude would turn around and get in trouble and get kicked back, right? But people that were always, I don't know, this dude came in, right, he was all drunk, and he had a hemp wallet. They gave him a hard time the whole time he was there. With me, I learned my shit, and it was actually fun learning how to march and learning certain things.
Yeah.
but it was really hard because of the abuse, the psychological abuse, I
Yeah.
guess, you know.
They
For
tear you
someone like
down.
me, it's
And you gotta bite your fucking tongue.
yeah, and I wanted to kick somebody's ass, you
Fuck
know.
yeah.
When my father passed away, I found out when I was in there. Um, they came and told me, right? And then some black dude was talking shit to me one time, and he was taking a shit in the toilet, talking shit to me, and he said something about my dad. I wanted to kick the door and just pound him, but I knew I'd have went back to prison, so I didn't do that. But we had to run because we got in trouble for that, and we had to run. I was fucking. He had to keep up with me, dude. He couldn't keep up with me. I was running my ass off. I was so pissed. But and he was. I don't know. It was some little shit like that, but just the fact that he was talking about my dad and respect, you know, it kind of
Yeah.
upset me.
Well, plus you're already in a stressful situation, just being there and throughout your day having to do all that shit. You know, I get it, man, because I got fucking mad at a dude because he stole my fucking dryer, and I wanted to beat the shit out of him. The only thing that was stopping me was my battle buddy holding me back. He was this big black Jamaican dude. He just grabbed me, pulled me back, and the guy I wanted to fight was like this 6'4" redhead. I'm like, I'm gonna kill this guy. He stole my dryer.
Take him in the nuts and then
Yeah.
take him down,
I was
bust him
gonna
down.
punch him in his throat. I think that's the only
Yeah.
thing I could reach.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So what have you done? I guess because I think tempers run in our family. I think we all have them.
Yeah.
I know I had one in my younger age, and I started when I was younger. I did meditation, or I did a lot of listening to music to help me like keep myself balanced so that I don't have these outbursts. I still have them every once in a while, very very rarely now, just because I feel like I've gotten better at releasing.
You're managing your stress level and stuff.
exactly,
Yeah.
and mostly through playing games. But what do you do? I guess for hobbies for.
I love sports. With my boys, I'm always trying to teach them shit. So we'll go out and hit some balls. I got like a bag of 20 baseballs and weird balls. Like I got some wiffle balls and some stupid balls. So they like hitting those because they just go flying. We play football. I'll take them to the track. They ride their bikes. They got a cool BMX track over there. I like to teach them shit, but I like physical stuff. So you know, and I go do it with them. I don't just go to the park and watch them and shit. I'm sitting there pitching the ball and they're good. I mean, they're good because I do it a lot with them, I guess. So that shit kind of keeps me balanced. I work a lot, so it's hard for me to actually get a workout in. I'm gonna probably start doing that here soon though, because I'm trying to change some habits for the better, I guess. And I think if I get back into that, it's gonna help me out. I just gotta commit to it. And
Are you allowed to use the gym for free where you work?
I could use it, but I'm not supposed to, and I wouldn't do that because my employees can't use it. So if they can't use it, I'm not going to use it. Like I said, I try to lead by example. And we got a tiny ass gym. I got a gym in my house though. I just need to get all the shit out of the storage room. I got weights, free weights. I got a body bag. I got a speed bag. I got pull down shit. I got all kinds of shit. So
You ever thought about getting the kids into like mixed martial arts or anything?
oh
like
yeah,
that?
I've already got a bunch of shit for them. We got them in karate, but the sensei that was teaching them they were young and he wasn't really teaching them. My kids are kind of advanced, and he was just making them do the same shit. It was more running, more the discipline part of it,
Yeah.
which I like that too. But after 6 months and they're not doing anything new, it's like, dude, I'm not paying you to, you know. And you got to pay for the belt. So every time they did certain katas and stuff, and you have to learn, you know, certain moves and show that you can do it, then you get the next belt, the next color, and then you pay $50 for a belt or $100, whatever it is. And I had 2 kids, and then you're paying monthly for the karate. So I was like, yeah, unless they're gonna learn more shit, I'm taking them out because I can teach them that stupid shit, you know. But there's some, yeah, I you know, I wanted to get them more into it for self-defense and stuff and discipline. But like I said, they were too young for it, and now they don't even want to do it because I always ask them, "You want to get back into that?" And they're like, "No, they're into other things." So
Yeah, I tried to get Malia into jiu-jitsu, and she was good at it.
jiu-jitsu is
She
cool.
she didn't like it though. She even got so the Gracie school
Gracie
here.
brothers are badass.
Yeah, it's the daughter of one of the best jiu-jitsu guys, who Hicks and Gracie. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah.
His daughter helps run the school here.
And Yakima.
Yeah, and that was the one that was training her. And he even told her, she's like, "Do you have like older brothers or something? Because you got some really good like balance and hips because I'm always messing with her.
And she's pretty flexible, and yeah, I seen her do some gymnastic shit.
She's pretty good.
Yeah.
But she just didn't like it. I don't know why. I was hoping that she would. I hope she'd get into it. She got her first stripe, I think, right? And then from there, she just like, I'm just too busy, Dad. She wanted to. She's hard on herself with school and stuff. But I really thought she would go somewhere, and I've always wanted like one of the girls to get into mixed martial arts and be like a women's champion.
I know some girls that are some badass martial artists.
I bet.
You don't fuck with them, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I didn't know you really like that.
I would not mess with anyone that's trained just because one, I'm old, and two, I don't want to.
Well, that's one thing to worry about too. You know, when you, like you said, you try to control your anger and stuff, because it's that one time that you get angry at the wrong person and do something stupid, and you get your ass beat from some dude that knows some mixed martial arts. Is gonna fuck you up. And they don't look like they know shit, and they come up on you and just take you down with a couple of things. You know.
Yeah.
You got to watch yourself, especially if they're bad guys. They don't have the discipline. They just know the martial arts and want to fuck you up and get hurt really bad. So
hopefully there's not too many people out there, and hopefully we're not getting ourselves in those situations. I know alcohol plays a big part in.
That's just it. You never know, so you gotta control your shit and try to do the right thing. I guess I think that's in life in general.
I just drink at home because I don't want to deal with that.
Well, yeah, and you don't want to drink and drive. You don't want
exactly.
Everything about that is not good. And you're saving some money by drinking at home. So
it's cheaper.
I got lots of alcohol at home.
Oh man, so let me think here. Let's
Tell me, wait. Tell me a little bit about you and the COVID, man. What's going on with that? Because you do IT shit. You doing everything from home?
Yeah, I've been working from home for about a month and a half, I think. And everything I can do, because I'm a supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I usually direct work, or there's a lot of stuff that I can do on my computer here, and I have a laptop, so everything I can do from here.
And congratulations on that new position, man. I saw that. I see you.
Yeah, worked my way up.
Baller.
It took a while. It was, sometimes I feel like I don't do, I'm just hard on myself. I don't feel like I do as good a job as I can, so I keep trying to do better.
People are going to be harder on themselves than anybody else would be harder on.
I think that's what drives most people. I think that's me. I think it's her. She's pretty hard on herself. I think that's what gives us our drive to be better and to get better.
Well, sometimes it can go against you too, so you just got to remember that. Hey, it's okay. Just learn from that mistake and don't.
Sometimes it just brings your self-esteem down because you're thinking, oh man, I'm just not doing
expectations
exactly.
But just gotta learn from it. As long as you learn from it, it's all good.
Yeah, and I listen to I try to ask the people that work under me, how they feel, if there is any concerns, with me or the way I'm directing stuff, and I usually get good results. Maybe they just don't want to tell me, but I think they're being honest with me. So yeah, I've been working from home. It's been okay because I'm pretty introverted anyway. I don't socialize as much as a lot of people, and I don't really need it. So working from home is okay with me.
Mm-hmm.
I do miss the people I work with. I do miss going to work and seeing those people. And since I've been off work, or since I've been working from home, I've just gained.
How long have you been home now? A couple months?
Yeah, a month and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I've gained like 10 pounds.
Are you worried about COVID and everything?
I am. I take it serious. Like before you guys got here, I sanitized everything just to make sure if for some reason, we're asymptomatic or something and we haven't, I don't want to, we're kind of close, but I think we're far enough away. So it concerns me only because, obviously I don't want to die.
Yeah,
I don't want to give anything to Mom. She's got the one lung.
Yeah.
So Joanne seems to think she had it because about a week before the state went into a state of emergency, she had like a really bad flu. She was like in bed, just sick.
I think I had it too. I didn't know at the time, but I had a respiratory problem. I went in and they said they thought I might have had pneumonia.
See, you might have.
And then they said, well, wait 15 days, and if not, we'll give you some antibiotics, but you have to wait first. And I was like, man, because I did have pneumonia about a year ago, and it felt like the same way. I felt it in my chest and stuff. So, but it went away, but I got pretty sick. So I was like, maybe I already had that shit,
Do you typically get sick around?
I get sick once a year. Get a flu or a cold or something. I don't take flu shots, so.
See, I get like really. I've had the flu maybe a couple times, but I really get bad allergies, like to where my nose is just draining.
Oh, I have allergies anyway, so my shit's bad. If I don't take my meds, it fucks me up.
I haven't gotten that sick this year, like Joanne was. So I'm kind of lucky. So even when she was sick, because obviously we sleep right next to each other. I felt slightly drained, but never had a cough, never had a fever. I was checking my fever. I was making her check hers. She had one, for about that week. Malia was a little bit sick, but I don't think she really got bothered. And then Mia kind of got sick. It was, I wouldn't say, I think she was more like me, but she had a cough. And this is when everything started. So maybe we did have it.
Yeah, I just think COVID sucks ass, but it is what it is. And you got to do what you got to do for now, and hopefully shit gets better. But I'm just curious how it's going to be a year from now, 2 years from now. Because some of the expectations of how we deal with the situation is kind of funky.
Yeah, I think right now what the state's doing is they're waiting to see how the other states do reopening. So I think Washington, Oregon, and California are all doing that wait game.
Let's waiting to see what somebody else does. You can look at China, you can look at Italy and what they did. We just got to do what's best for us. And I think if you see somebody sick or something, you stay the freak away from them. Or if you're sick, don't go out and get other people sick. And I don't know, man. You can go to Walmart and Costco and stand right by motherfuckers, even though they got the signs and shit. But you can't go and get a haircut, or you can't.
I saw someone tweet out yesterday. They're like, so my understanding is that you can't get COVID at Costco, Walmart, Safeway, or whatever, all these places, because you go there and there's like tons of people. It's like, thank God for that. What are they doing, right?
Yeah, but you can get it when you go get a haircut. Yeah, I agree with that. That's why I'm like, yeah, come on. We've been dealing with the flus, and you have the swine flu, and like going back to the Spanish flu way back in the day. It's like we've been dealing with this kind of shit forever. Chicken pox, measles. It's just one of those things. I'm just hoping that they don't try to mandate and the government take over and tell us that you got to do this all the time. You got to wear a mask. I've been seeing people wearing masks for years. I'm like, look at that crazy motherfucker. It's like,
yeah, look at Japan, because they all wear
Asians
masks
and
there.
shit. Yeah, and at the bus stop you see, and sometimes there is some crazy motherfuckers wearing a mask, but then there's other ones that they probably were doing the right thing because of the pollution. You think about cars and shit like that. It's there's a lot of pollution out there, and we breathe that shit in. It's definitely not good for you. But
Yeah.
it's not because of COVID. It's because of the pollution, and you're breathing it in, and it's not good for your body. So I don't know. It's just some crazy shit going on.
Well, I'm hoping that we'll get to the point where we can where they give us choice instead of mandating we have to do all this. Just say, okay, it's out there. Continue with social distancing. Wear masks if you're sick. If you have health concerns, stay home.
Yep. No, and that's the way it should be.
I think
anyways.
we have the infrastructure in place right now to where we're if we need to, we can do what we're doing now in the future.
Well, and like restaurants, make them wear masks. I'm okay with that. We already got to wear gloves and shit like that. Make them wear a mask. People that are dealing with shit, make them wear a mask. If I don't think everybody should have to wear a mask to go anywhere. Fuck that. That's retarded. And we're all gonna look all crazy. It can be like 20.
I think if you're sick, wear a mask.
When we're
so
way
you're not
back.
giving it to
Yeah, if you're
somebody.
sick or something, or don't go out.
Yeah. Are you guys preparing for if you do get a reopen? Like, are you making less?
Yeah, we're already doing a lot of stuff. We've already hired people back. We've gotten some money from the government, and part of the stipulation with not paying that money back is that you got to hire people back and employ them. So what we've been doing is utilizing that money to do some grand reopening. We're remodeling. Like I said, we're doing a lot of landscaping right now. We painted up the kitchen, repaired a bunch of tiles in the kitchen. We painted a bunch of tiles, painted walls, steam cleaned tiles. Shit that we didn't have time to do, and stuff you couldn't really do when you're open because it interrupts the guests and stuff. All right, man. Let's cut this shit short. You got like 2 more questions because I'm getting hungry.
Are you
man.
hungry?
I'm starving.
All right. Well, let me think here. Is there anything in your life that you feel that people should know about you? Is like, I guess, what would be your legacy, or you feel like your legacy would be that you want your grandchildren to know about you if they watch this? Hey, this was me. This is what I did in my life, or this is what I strive to be in my life.
I just hope that, my influences on the people that know me, my family, my kids, that stuff will come down the line with people that, my grandkids' kids that I probably won't get to meet because I probably will be gone by then. That they know that I was a hard-working individual, that I was a family man, that I cared about my family. I was fair. I'll always try to look out for the weak and try to take care of the weak. Whatever the situation is. Just today we went and had lunch and some chick was begging for food and money, and I could have told her, hey, step off, and I was like, no, I'll buy you something, because she said she wanted food. She was begging for money. I probably would have said, nah, step away. I got his credit cards or whatever. But then I said, what do you want? She's like, I'll take some steak bites and some. I was like, this bitch ordered like the highest price thing on the menu. So I told her, I said, you know what, I'll get you something when I come out. Because I'm compassionate, I have my humanitarian, I guess. I have feelings. I'm compassionate about things. I used to get in fights and stuff, but a lot of that was when I did get in the fights, like taking care of you on Halloween. It wasn't like I was out looking for a fight, but I'm not gonna get punked and let somebody fuck with my family like that. I'll fight for mine, I guess, and I want my family to know that even though I was kind of hard, that I was doing it for the right reasons, I guess.
Well, I think a lot of people know that. Even though you are hard, I think we all know, the current family all know how big of heart you have. You're not like that unless you care. And I think we all know how much you care for all of us, and we all care for you.
Family's important to me, so
I don't think there's any doubt in that. And I think you might live because they're coming out with new shit every year, man.
I don't want to live, dude. My body's hurting.
You might be a vampire.
Man. It's funny because I do tell stories sometimes, and people just look at me like I'm fucking lying or talking shit, and they're like, "No, man, that shit really happened."
Yeah, it's a fucking rough life, man.
It was some of that shit was fun too, but. It was a rough life, but other people have had rougher lives, so I don't take it as a rough life. I just take it that was my life, and that's what I dealt with.
Yeah, it made you who you are.
I try to do it as an experiment or experience for somebody so that it helps them out, I guess. But sometimes I do tell stories to people that I care for, and this is where I come from. This is what I dealt with, and not because I want them to feel sorry for me, but I want them to understand how I am and why I'm the way I am, I guess.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's wrap this up then. Let's go get some food. I appreciate it, Paul. I thank you for being here. COVID-19,
right,
give you some of that. And we'll see you guys on the next podcast.
Peace.